Okay, now you can go.
Okay. We've been learning what happened in the early church, and some of the things that God did. You remember a couple weeks ago, the Pharisees told Peter and John to quit preaching. Well, they didn't listen. They did what God told them to do. So the Pharisees had them arrested. And they locked them in jail, and the doors were locked. There were guards stationed around. But in the middle of the night, an angel came and told them, "Get out of here." And so they walked out. The next morning, the Pharisees sent for them to put them on trial for disobeying them. And the people they sent came back and said, the guards were still there, and the door was shut, but they're gone. Someone else came and said, those people you arrested yesterday? They're preaching out at the court of the temple. So they arrested them again. At this point, I think I quit. I would quit trying to fight this, but they didn't. They weren't sure what they needed to do. So they were consulting together, and one of them said, a while back, there was this guy, and he had a big following, and when he died, his following dispersed and went away. And then there was this other guy, and the same thing happened with him. And we've seen this kind of thing before, where people would get big followings and they die, and then their people eventually disperse and everything goes away. We need to be careful. If we do anything like kill these two guys, then there's a chance that might make them martyrs and this won't go away. But there's a chance that if we're just quiet and we don't do anything, that everything will quiet down and go away, unless this is actually of God. If it is, we can't stop it anyway. So they took the apostles and they beat them, and then they let them go. And do you know how the apostles responded?
Preaching.
They went away rejoicing. They were happy. They thanked God that they were serving him good enough that it could be proven they were serving him instead of the Pharisees. That they were servants of God, and they were worthy to suffer in his name. And they went right back to the temple and began preaching. And during this time, when Peter would be walking along the road, if his shadow fell on someone who was sick, that person got better. It's kind of a weird thing that God did. And so people would see where Peter was walking and intentionally get in his shadow so that they would get better when they were sick. So it's kind of cool. God did a lot of cool things at this time period. So let's sing our song. Okay. Climb, climb up Sunshine Mountain, heavenly breezes blow. Climb, climb up Sunshine Mountain, faces all aglow. Turn, turn your back on Satan, look up to the sky. Climb, climb up Sunshine